Hey everyone, look what I have in my hand. Yes, these are the long-awaited BK Beauty brushes, the full collection, all of the face brushes, all of the eye brushes, and I am using all of them in this video to bring you this look. I am so excited for my dear friend Lisa. You know her here on YouTube as Lisa J Makeup, and I was really honored to be able to go up to her launch at Nordstrom this month and get these hand delivered to me. I actually ordered on my own the eye set, and then she gifted me an additional full set. So I am set, haha, with brushes for a while, and I could not be prouder. If you want to see that little trip up to Austin that's coming, I think next week in my August vlog. But in the meantime, if you are not familiar with Lisa J Makeup here on YouTube and her new brand BK Beauty, you are missing out on a true gift to the beauty world and to YouTube. I'm going to list her channels and all of the information down below. I will link directly to BK Beauty down below. There's no affiliate codes here. This is just directly going to Lisa's business, and I have to say I do have a coupon code. Again, nothing affiliate, no kickback, just 10% off. I'll put that code in the description box. That's a standing code, that it doesn't expire. But I also want to point out that when you purchase anything from BK Beauty, whether it's her t-shirts, her brushes, what have you, a portion of that goes to support the Kindness Campaign, which is an amazing educational program aimed at pre-K really through high school and teaching children about emotional health and building up their self-worth and dealing with bullying and all those negative things that are out there in the world and really affect us as grown-ups as well. So if you want to support Lisa and support BK Beauty and support anti-bullying and emotional health, please make sure you check out BK Beauty. And without further ado, let's talk about how this happened. So let's just address this as quickly as possible. Many of you saw my hydrofacial video. If you haven't, I'll link it, you know, in the places. And it really worked. It cleared up my skin. It was beautiful. But while I was there, I also discussed with Dr. Rainey getting IPL done, and she suggested before I try that, that there were some traces of melasma and that she would prescribe to me a bleaching cream. And the bleaching cream is a combination of 3 ingredients, 2 of which I remember, 1 I don't. Tretinoin, which is retin A, hydroquinone, and agent number C. We don't know what it is. I mean, I just don't remember. And I didn't recognize it. Anyway, I've been using Differin every night for like 7 months. So I thought, I'll just jump right into the retin A derivative, you know, retin A combined with the hydroquinone. No problem. So we're purging. That's what's happening. But on this side, I don't know if it's as obvious to you on camera, but this side has already lightened. Actually, both sides have already lightened quite a bit, the melasma type things. My skin obviously is not perfectly smooth and even, but I've only been at it about 2 weeks. So there you go. But it also inspired me to do this video because while I want to demonstrate to you using Lisa's brushes, I should just call them by the brand name, BK Beauty brushes, I wanted to use this opportunity to, 1, address we all don't have perfect skin, even if it looks that way sometimes in pictures, and 2, a technique that's new to me in helping to conceal these as they heal. I also want to just play with some new products that I've been loving. One of them is this really inexpensive rose quartz roller that I actually got at Walmart, and I don't know if there's any real benefits to this. I really don't. And it really is rose quartz. I looked at the ingredients, so to speak. And I can tell you this, it's always cold no matter what. And I have a killer headache and have had one for, I don't know, 3 days straight, mostly because I'm not hydrating enough and I'm not sleeping enough. And it just feels so good to just roll in general, it doesn't matter which end, over my face, especially where I have the aforementioned headache. So anyway, give me a minute. Also, while picking some stuff up there, I remember how much I loved the Garnier Anti-Dark Circle, I think it was Rollerball, and I saw this one from Equate Beauty. This one is Anti-Puff, and I'm not working so much with dark circles as much as just puffy, tired eyes, so I wanted to give this a go, and I'm just rolling that under each eye. I have no idea if this works. It just feels cold, and it feels nice, and so I'm going to be using that, especially right now. I hate to complain about the heat constantly. I mean, I live in Texas. I should be used to this by now, but it's like 108 degrees. It's too hot. Okay, let's get into this tutorial, shall we? So what I've been using for about a month, and I've had this longer, I just never reached for it, and I love it, and I know this is not what's causing me to break out because I was using it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks before that started happening. It's the Trish McEvoy Beauty Booster Cream SPF 30, Anti-Fatigue Moisturizer, Enriched Primer, Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So especially because I'm using Retin-A and hydroquinone, and we should all be using sunscreen anyway, kind of nice that this has SPF 30 in it, and I just put a healthy amount on my fingers and rub it all in. Next is the Trish McEvoy Instant Eye Lift, and this I do every day no matter what. I just draw a little triangle under my eye. The only thing new about this is it's a new tube because I went through a whole tube of this. That is not something I do often, as you know, with so many options to choose from. And I am going to use a Too Faced brush that I think was supposed to be, it was sent in PR, and I think it's supposed to be for highlighter. It's a horrible highlighter brush, but it's great for patting in concealer. So I kind of consider this a concealer of sorts. Okay, now for the new to me technique. It's not new, I've invented nothing. It's instead of my traditional way of doing things, which I'd be doing foundation and then concealer, we're flipping it around. So I'm gonna do concealer first and then go on to foundation, and anything that's still showing I can spot correct, but this has given me a much better canvas, so to speak, than the traditional way. It's a little light for me right now. It's the Trish McEvoy Correct and Even Full Face Perfector. What I like about this is it's definitely meant for concealing, but note in the name it says full face. So you can also use it as a full face foundation if you want to sheer it out. Even though this is very large for spot concealing, I have found that by accident that this brush from BK Beauty, it's the 101 brush, works really nicely in very softly blending in the concealer. So I'm going to start I'm using this tippy top right here, and I'm just sort of gently patting. You also have to remember, it doesn't have to be perfectly blended because we are going to be putting foundation on top of it. Don't let the size of the brush scare you. I'm literally using the very edge of the brush to make it feel like I'm using a really tiny brush. But the angled part of the brush really helps to just target that area and feather it in. Okay, so it's not perfect, but this is a spot better, haha. So now onto foundation. I can't stop using this. I just keep going back. It's the Healthy Foundation from Physicians Formula. My bottle's defective and the little stopper doesn't work, so I get way too much product on here, so forgive me for that. But I'm just gonna slather this on. I'm going back to the 101 brush, and I'm using it to just pat in to start, and then I'll start blending once I have the initial pat down. I don't want to sweep it because I don't want to disturb all the concealer that I just patted in. And if I rub and blend too much, that's definitely what's going to happen. I'm going to rub it right off. But again, I just want to mention this angled tip because you can get it right underneath your eyes. And I love that. So I get all the benefits of my flat top kabuki brush with the added benefit of almost like a second brush built in. To set, it's a 2 powder, 2 brush approach. First, under eyes with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores powder, and this is a Sigma brush. I think it's called Power Sweep. And I'm literally using it to sweep the powder underneath my eyes. I also use it in the creasy areas, the lines around my mouth and nose. Oops, a little too much powder there. But to powder the rest of my face, first, a new favorite. You'll be hearing about this actually in August favorites. It's again from Physicians Formula. It's the Healthy Powder, and I figured if I'm using the foundation, why not pair the powder? And for that, I'm using the 102 BK Beauty brush. I don't know, I don't want to say I have a favorite brush, but this is so soft. I just find myself doing this a lot with nothing on it. But I'm just going to load a bunch on, and again, I'm doing more of a patting and using more of the side of the brush, not on my nose, but in the areas where I put on a lot of concealer. I don't really want to disturb that. I love this powder. I don't know what it is. It's more of a mattifying powder, which really works well with this foundation because the foundation's kind of dewy. And so it just sets everything. I found that I use this and I don't have to touch up the whole rest of the day. This stuff is amazing. All right, I do want to add a little bit of bronzer. I might have to go back and do some more concealer. I know it's a lot of layers, but sweeping stuff over it is gonna probably move things around. And I thought because we're talking about BK Beauty and all things Lisa J makeup, I would use some of her favorites, and this bronzer is definitely one of them. This should look very familiar to you. She uses this in most of her videos, not necessarily for bronzing, but as her mirror, and it's the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer. And again, I'm doing more. No, I'm gonna brush on. We can always just fix it later. Now onto highlighter and concealer. So I wanna get strategic with the highlighter because obviously I don't wanna highlight my blemishes. And I'm gonna use another Lisa favorite. This was inspired by her. This is the Total Face palette from e.l.f. And I didn't use the bronzer, but I am gonna use the highlighter and one of the blushes. So the highlighter, for that, I'm going to use brush 104 and dip in and just lightly dust it. I just want the most subtle, and I'm trying to avoid, you know, the blemishes. On this side, I'm gonna be a little less delicate. And then, same brush, I love that it comes more to a point so I can get right into the blush pan. Both of these shades are pretty much, I mean, one's a little pinker than the other. I think today I'm just gonna go for this top right corner. I want a blush that is not shiny, not reflective at all, matte, let's say, or satin, because I do have texture on my cheeks right now, and that's really the last thing we need to be looking at. I'm gonna do my eyebrows really quickly, and then we'll get to the eyeshadow. Eyebrows are on. I know this video is so long, but I want to show one thing because this is new to me. It's how I clean my brushes, and it's incredible. So it's Cinema Secrets. Ordered it on Amazon. Got the biggest bottle. Put a little bit in a bowl. We're talking tiny. I wanted to show you this on camera so you can see how quickly this is usable. So this is the 201 brush. Note the extra long handle. Love it. Anyway, I've been using this nonstop as my crease kind of transition shade, so it's a little bit dirty. You literally just, watch this, just put the tip in, it kind of soaks up the liquid, and then you take, I've been using a towel, but you take like a paper towel, you go like this, that's it, it's clean. Watch this. Clean, no residue. And it's dry. Like it's a tiny bit damp. I can use this now as my crease shade. Like I don't have to wait. You just go in and get to work. So another Lisa J makeup favorite, the Sigma Warm Neutrals Volume 2. Just going to slap this on, and I am going to use the shade Toasty in my crease. So I just mentioned the extra long handle, and here's what I love about it. I am terrible at being a little too heavy-handed, and when you can choke up on this, so to speak, or choke away, choking up would be getting down closer to the ferrule, but when you can be pretty far away from where the actual brush hairs are, it's less physical pressure, and it's less chance of you doing too much on your eye. So look how easy that is. And this is a just washed brush. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit more in the outer corner. This is very basic. I'm starting up like where my eye fold kind of hood is, and then brushing it back and forth. It diffuses the color so quickly. There's really minimal blending required with these brushes. They're incredible. And I'm not saying that because I happen to be friends with Lisa. I just really love these brushes. I'm going to take the flat shader version, which is the 203, and with the shade Humble, which is the light kind of cream shade, I'm just gonna pat that onto the brow bone very lightly. And then I'm gonna go in with Beaming, which is sort of a light pink. And using that same brush, I'm going to just pack this onto the lid and pull it up into the droopy eye part. I mean, seriously, let's just call it what it is. What I really like about this brush is that it's a flat shader brush, but it doesn't have an enormous head to it. So I have little tiny eyes, not a lot of lid space. I can use it to really get the color where I want it and keep it away from where I don't. And I can pull it all the way into my inner corner, and it fits in there very nicely. I'm gonna take the 204 brush, which is like a tiny little smudger brush. I love this thing. I'm gonna take that original crease color, and I'm toasty, and I'm just gonna run that underneath the lashes on the lower lash line. I'm gonna actually turn it sideways and use that to kind of blend it out a little bit. Then I'm gonna take the 202 brush, which is a more focused crease brush. It's not as fluffy, it comes to a point, and I'm going to go in with Iconic, which is not a matte shade. It's like a coppery brown. And I'm just gonna poke that into the outer corner and then pull it a little bit in and a little bit up into the crease. These brushes diffuse the color so beautifully that it's really hard to mess up your look. So if you're always been trying to get that soft, diffused, blended look and it's just always sort of escaped you, these brushes make it possible. I don't know how Lisa did this. I don't know how she figured this out. I don't know what went into this process, but she did an amazing job. There is one more eye brush in the set. It is the 205, which is more of an angled brush if you really want to get some more detail work done in the crease. You know what? Let's just do it. I'm gonna go in with After Hours. It's a dark matte brown, and I'm gently, ever so gently, just gonna stamp a little V in the corner and use that. Now I will say the first time, I actually put too much on, hang on. The first time I used this brush, I actually used it like a flat shader brush, which I'm sure is not what it's meant for. I used the side of the brush to pack color on. I'm also gonna pull what's left on the brush down a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back in with the original big fluffy, the 201, and just kind of blend that out. Look how quick it blended. I'm telling you, that's not the shadow, that is the brush. I'm just going to curl lashes, put on eyeliner, and I'll be right back. Okay, I also added some mascara, and I'm just going to put on my lipstick, and then we'll decide how we want to deal with this situation. So I am using a new to me lip liner. It's from Charlotte Tilbury, but instead of using Pillow Talk, I'm using Iconic Nude. You'll see why in a second. And then I found these at Walmart also. These are from Maybelline. The exact name escapes me. I'll put it in the description box. Look at this packaging. Really just for the packaging. This is the shade Baddest Beige. It's so shiny, super duper shiny. I think it blends pretty well with the lip liner. And then I'm gonna make it even shinier because I'm just playing with nude goodies, really. This is also from Maybelline. It's their collaboration with Summer McKeen, and it's a lip gloss in the shade Sunkissed. There's quite a few in the collection. I tried to grab something that I didn't have a color similar to. So at this point, there's still, this side looks good. This side, it's not great, but I'm gonna try a little bit more concealer. I know you can get a little, if you do too much, it's gonna get cakey, but I'm going with one that's pretty light. It's the Magic Away concealer. I'm just gonna put it on my finger. And then dust a little bit of the powder, just a tiny bit. And this is the finished look using BK Beauty brushes and some of Lisa J Makeup's favorite products. And let me just end with this. It should go without saying, but your outside does not define your inside. If you feel good in here, how this looks is not as important. So while you may be very self-conscious, and sometimes I feel the same way if we have blemishes or uneven skin tone or scars or whatever makes you a little bit different than what you're used to looking at in the mirror, it is okay. You put a smile on your face, you look people directly in the eye when they talk to you, and that is all they are going to see. And with that, I want to congratulate Lisa on her amazing brush launch. I am so proud of you, girl. Don't forget, everyone, I have a 10% off code. It is in the description box. You can buy the whole set, you can buy just the face set, you can buy just the eye set, or you can pick out individual brushes to add to your collection as you need them. I cannot wait to see where this takes her. This is just the beginning of an amazing ride. Thank you all so much for supporting me, and make sure you turn that support around and support our girl Lisa as she kills it in the beauty world. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.